Hello friends, and welcome to this video where I'm going to set up a blank WordPress theme template. It's pretty straightforward to do this, and I don't think you're going to have any difficulties doing this. I'm just going to show you what kind of files I'm using for the most part. And yeah, this will be a total blank theme template. So whenever you have a new client who requests their own theme solution, you can use this template to save some time, basically. Now you can add any files or any piece of code that you want. This is just the basic, very basic theme template. All right, so I'm using VS Code and BAM server for this, together with Firefox, the developers edition. I made a video earlier on how to install this. I'm gonna link it to that video down in the description, but I don't think you're gonna have any issues installing those three programs. All right, so what I have done here is that I've opened up a new workspace with a fresh WordPress installation. And in here, we are going to the VP content because we need to create our new theme. So VP content, and under themes, you see you already have 3 themes installed. These are the standard 3 themes. So what we're going to do is we are going to install or create a new theme here. So a new folder like that, and I'm going to just name this YouTube underscore CIY, like that. And now when we have created a folder, let's go to our WordPress installation. And I have already installed WordPress here, as you can see. So let's take a look at appearances. And in appearance you have themes, and here's the 3 standard themes right here. So if we go down here at the bottom, see if we can find our theme. And as you can see here, we have under broken themes, YouTube CIY. That's the theme we created, or the folder we created. And then the description and error message here. Style sheet is missing. Okay, so that gives us an idea on what we need to do. So we go back to our theme here. And in YouTube underscore CIY, let's create a file and name it style.css. And if we go back here to our backend here on our WordPress installation and refresh, all right, so you get another error message. So it says here the template is missing. So standalone themes need to have an index.php template file. All right, so we need to create this file here. So we'll go back to the root directory of our theme, and let's create this file, index.php. All right, now let's see if it works. So let's refresh. And now, as you can see, we have our theme up here. So what we can do here, if we take a look at our website, and here is the standard theme, 2019, or yeah, 2019. All right, so if we change the theme, and let's just activate it, and then see what we have. So let's refresh the page, and you can see it's all blank, which is correct, since if we go back to our file here, it's totally blank. All right, so that's what we want. All right, now let's head back here to the backend, and as you can see, we don't have a screenshot here, this nice looking screenshot as the other themes have. So what we need to do is we need to create a screenshot for this one. So what we're gonna do is we have to import an image into our file structure, into the root of our theme directory right here. So let's do that. I have already downloaded an image. So what I'm using is a website called Pexels. So if you go to let's see, Pexels, I think I have it, pexels.com. So here's a lot of free stock photos. So what I did was that I took actually this picture, took a picture of a nice looking sunset. So I took this one here by Sebastian Wortman. So this image, and I didn't do the original. I just did a large right here. You can choose whatever size you want. Maybe small is enough if you want to just use it for the thumbnail for your theme. All right, so after downloading it, and I download it in my special little folder that I have. Now, it's important that you rename this one. So what you need to do is rename it. And the name is super important here. So you need to name it to screenshot. And it actually has to be a PNG file. So we're going to change this. All right, so first do screenshot. Okay. And then we're just going to bring it in to our to this one here, to our file structure, just like this right there. Now it's a JPG, so what you can do is you can actually change the whole thing here, which is pretty neat. So PNG, so it needs to be a PNG, otherwise it won't understand. Right, so if you go back here to your admin panel, and let's refresh, and now you have your screenshot here, this beautifully looking sunset. Now if you compare your theme, if you go into theme details, it's pretty empty here. It's no version, just the name of your theme, and by anonymous, which is that's not me, obviously. So and if you compare that to the standard theme here, if you go into theme details, they have all this version name, and then have a URL and description, tags, and so on. So we are going to add all this to our theme as well. So where you do this is in the style.css. So let's go back there to our style.css. All right, so in here, let's make a comment. So in VS Code, you can just press Control and backslash. You get an automatic comment field like this. And now let's put in the information that we need. So first, I'm going to put in the theme name. And I'm just going to name it to YouTube CIY. And then on the next line, the URI, if you have one. Actually, I don't have one, so I'm just gonna do just to YouTube, I think. YouTube.com. Then author. So that's who's making the theme, and I'm just gonna put myself here. Code it yourself guy. Next, if you have an author URI, URI, and I don't have a URI either, so I'm just gonna do through actual WordPress itself. Now you can just put in your own information here, obviously. Then the description, and the description is what comes up here. All right, so this is the description. So I'm just gonna print real simple. This is a starter theme for theme development, like this. And then the WordPress version, what I guess the last version it actually requires. So just requires at least WordPress. Usually, yeah, I used to put 4.9.6 because that's a good version there. And then the version of your theme. So this is the first iteration. So just put in version 1.0, 1.0, and then the license. The standard license is the GNU, General Public License version 2 or later. So just let's put that in here. Now, all this information is not important if you tend to use for your own use. But if you plan to sell uh, your theme, then this needs to be in here for later. And then if there's a license URI, I don't need to do that if you don't want. Then the text domain. And the text domain is what we're going to use when we use for our file structure later on. I will come back to this. Then tags. I'm just gonna do learning, maybe coding, WordPress perhaps, something like that. All right. So this is all we need. So just let's save this one, and then let's head back here to our theme, and let's refresh the page. Then head back into our theme and theme details, and as you can see, we have all the versions, all the updated information right here. So that's pretty handy. So now that we have done that on the theme appearance side here. All right, so we don't need to do anything else here. So let's try to add some more files. All right, so next file we need to create, or need to actually do something in. It's in the index.php. And in this index.php file, we're going to add some comments. So first, let's open up PHP tags. So it's this is a PHP tag, and then let's put in comments here. Actually, best ways to do comment is like this. All right, so let's do the standard way here. So let's first just put in a comment and to tell people what kind of page this is, and this is just for your own reference. If you tend to if you want to sell this theme, the more comments and information you put in here, the better it is. So just gonna put in that this is the index blog page, and then remember we talked about earlier, we talked about this text domain, so we're gonna put this one in here to link all the pages. So it's actually do this, add package, and then just paste it in our text domain. So that's pretty much it. So what we can do here is let's see if this one works. All right, so let's close this whole PHP tag, and then go down and just do an h1 tag, and let's just print hello from index.php and save. And let's go back to our theme here, and let's go back to our page, and let's see if it works. Right, okay, so now we have hello from index.php. So now we know it's all working nice and dandy. So let's move on here. So next what we need to do is we need to create a CSS file, our own CSS file. So let's do that. So let's I'd like to create a new folder for that and call that assets. And in this folder, I'm just gonna create another folder and name it CSS, because we might have many different CSS files. And in this one here, I'm just gonna call it CIY underscore style dot CSS, just so we know it's different from our normal style.css. All right, so in the future, I'm just going to use this file here rather than the standard WordPress style.css, just for keep ourselves organized a little bit better. So I'm just going to close down this one here for now, and so that's that. So now let's try it out, see if it works. So we're just going to do a body tag, and change the background color to red. Save it. Let's see if it works. Let's refresh, and as you can see, it doesn't work. Nothing happens. So there's something we need to do first, or actually there's a couple of things we need to do first. So let's do that. All right, so first of all we need to include this our new style sheet into our theme, so WordPress understands it has to look for this file here, ciy_style.css, and we do that by enqueuing the file. All right, so I like to create a new folder for this, and let's call it inc. All right, it's short for includes, or you can name it whatever you want there, but I like keep it short, include. All right, so inc, and in this folder I'm going to create a file called enqueue.php, something like that, enqueue.php. All right, and in this file I will enqueue all our external style sheets, fonts, and JavaScript files. All right, so this is a very important file. All right, so let's get started on this one here. So first, let's do the same here as we did with index.php. So let's create a PHP tag, and let's do the comment like we always do. All right, and this is just a short comment there, enqueue all your style sheets here. All right, and then just normal package, and do not save it. Right, cool. All right, now we don't need to close the PHP tag because we are going to write some more PHP just below here. All right, so first going to create a function, and I'm going to call this function load scripts, and we are going to hook it. This is a pre-made this one comes already loaded with WordPress. I'm not going to go through this too much because this is not a video about hooks and so on. It's just to show you what I like to do when I create a blank standard theme template. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to enqueue this one here, and I will enqueue it using a pre-made function that comes with WordPress. So it's called wp_unqueue. This is a hard thing to spell. Style, and then just first takes in a few parameters, I should say, and then so for the first one is the name here. So I call it ciy_style. Then obviously where to look for it. Get style sheet direct. Get style sheet URI. All right, that's pretty much it. All right, so this one actually we should do this URI, and then obviously where it should look for it. So it's in assets, CSS. So these are the folders we created, and then the name of the file, which is ciy_style.css. Okay, and then it's going to do an empty array, and after that the version of this one. So it's I'm just going to put 1.1.0. Oops, 0.0, and then where to. Is there anything else there? So it's print all. So that's that. So that's how we implement style sheet. Now, when we enqueue it, let's see if it works. All right, so let's go back to our front end and refresh. Still nothing. All right, so what we need to do now, we need to actually tell WordPress to come and look for this file. All right, so in our root folder, let's create a new file, call it functions.php. All right, so in this functions.php, we need to bring in this enqueue file. All right, so first let's just open up the normal PHP tags and just a little note here is to keep this. I like to keep this file as clean and organized as possible. So all my functions are in separate files, and I just bring them in here. And that way, it's much easier later to find a specific function, or if someone else comes in, that person will have a much easier time to read your code and find a specific function or make any changes. All right. So I just gotta write that. Keep this file as organized as possible. All right, and then throw in the package. Now you don't have to do this as I said earlier. If you're not planning to sell it, all right. Now, how do we do this? All right, so we need to put in a PHP PHP code here. All right, so it's first let's do require. All right, then get template directory directory like this. All right, and then find it and where to find it, right? So what's in our ink folders? So ink, and in our ink folder, the name of the file is enqueue.php. Queue.php, and then this little font sign here. All right, now let's save it and let's take a look here. So let's refresh. Still nothing happens. All right, now why is that? Well, we need another file before we'll see anything here, right? So we need to create a header, a header.php. All right, so header.php, and we save this one in the root of this theme directory. And in the header.php, we need to fill in some just standard HTML information, just as you see in any normal HTML document. All right, so I'm using VS Code, so I'm just gonna press Shift and get the exclamation mark, and then press Tab. So and then I will get this pre-made header here. It's pretty neat. So things we need to change here is the language. At least I like to change that. All right. So it's gonna put in a WordPress function. So let's open up PHP tags and then language attributes. All right. And then down here in the name for the content, it's gonna put in blog info. Blog info is a pretty good WordPress function. Contains a lot of information about the blog here. All right, so let's do that one there, right? So meta, then you get the name and the description, and then for the content, let's put in the blog info, and the info we need is the description. All right, description like so, and let's end that one there. Then close the PHP tag, and then let's close the meta tag. And then for character sets, let's put in another function here. So same, we're going to use the same function in blog info, but we are going to use character set instead, right? So let's open up PHP tag, then blog info, and in here character set like that, and then let's close it off like this, and then we can leave the viewport as it is. And then for the title, we are going to once again bring in the blog info. So another PHP tag, blog info, and this one, this time we need a name. Okay, and we also need to bring in another WordPress function to bring in the title. So it's WP underscore title, and we can leave that one empty, no parameters, and then close the PHP tag right there. All right, so now there's one more thing we need to do here, and this is a very important WordPress function. So we need to bring in a function called WP underscore head, and in this function, everything lives here in this function here. So let's bring that one in, WP underscore head, and let's close it. All right. Now let's save this file, and then let's try again. Okay, so let's go back to our front end here and refresh. Still nothing happens. So there's one more thing we need to do. So let's head back to our index.php, and our header.php. So there are a few things we need to do here first. So let's create our footer at the same time. So in our root of our theme, let's create a file called footer.php. All right, so what we can do here is if we go back to the header, just cut the ending body and HTML tags, cut them out like this, and let's save this one here, and then let's go back to the footer and paste them in. So that's pretty much what we need to do here. That's all we need to do. So let's save it, and we can just close it. So what we need to do now is let's go back to our index.php, and just above our h1 tags, let's just put them in here. So let's put in another WordPress function. So the one we need here is get header and get footer. Right, so get underscore header, and then also the footer, get underscore footer. So these two functions comes preloaded with WordPress. All right, so they work right out of the box. All right, so let's save this one here. Let's head back to front end. Let's refresh. All right, so now you can see we got some something happened here, right? So you can see the hello from index.php jump down a little bit. All right, so let's try to get our CSS file working. So let's head back to our header.php. So we actually we need to go to our enqueue.php, because I've realized I forgot something and also put in the wrong function here. So the first thing we need to correct here is the get style sheet underscore URI. It's not get the style sheet. It's actually get the template directory, right? So get template underscore directory underscore URI, and then down here we need to add an action, or another function, WordPress function called add action, to tell WordPress to run the whole script. Obviously, add action, and then let's bring in a pre-made WordPress function called wp underscore enqueue underscore scripts. So enqueue underscore scripts, and then we need to bring in the function that we made. So this is this one, load scripts. Put that one in there, and let's close it. Hit save, and let's see if it works now. All right, so we managed to change the background. All right, so that's that. So now we know that one's working. Now we can remove this one here. Just leave it blank for now, and then let's update here as well. Good. All right, so let's also include our JavaScript file. So in our assets folder, let's create a new folder called JavaScript. And in this one here is going to create a new file called scripts.js. All right, so now we also need to do the same here. So we need to enqueue this JavaScript file. All right, so let we go to our enqueue. All right, so let's do the same here. Now this is script and not a style sheet, so we are going to change from style to script instead, right? So wp underscore enqueue underscore script, and in this one here, it's going to bring in the file scripts, then get the template directory underscore URI, and also where WordPress needs to look for it. So it's in assets, JavaScripts, and scripts.js. All right, and then same here, an empty array, and then we have boolean either false or true. So first one is the version. We don't have a version, just we can just put in false here. We don't have one, and then next one is where we need to put it in the header or in the footer. All right, so the default is false. All right, so we're just gonna go for a default here. You might want to change that depending on your preference. All right, so let's save it, and no need to add anything here because we're already loading the whole script, and also in our functions.php we're already bringing in this whole enqueue.php file. So that's what I mean by trying to keep everything as organized and simple as possible, because you only need to change one in one place, so no need to change over here. All right, okay, so obviously nothing's gonna happen here because we don't have any no code or nothing. But if we take a look at the background here, so let's try to find our JavaScript file. All right, so if we go down here, we should have let's see if we can find it right here, right? CIY assets JavaScript scripts. So now it's loading, all right? So it's loading in the header, right? You might want to change this here to true, make it run in the footer, but that's up to you. All right, okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to create some a few more files before we're done. So the files we're gonna create is page.php, category.php, single.php, search.php, searchform.php, 404.php, and the sidebar and the front page. I like to have a front page, but that's up to you. Okay, well, anyways, let's create these files. All right, so in root of the directory, so let's first create the page.php, and next I'm just gonna close this down for now, and then queue there, then close the scripts and the functions for now, and the header for now. All right, and then after page, we need to create a category.php, and then let's create single.php, and then let's create search.php. Then I like to create search form.php. I think these are pretty self-explanatory, right? And then a 404.php, and then another file, sidebar.php, and then frontpage.php. Frontpage.php. All right, now when you create frontpage.php, if we go back here to our front end, now WordPress is gonna look at the frontpage.php. So whatever we had in the index, this is not the index page anymore. This is the front page, the .php. So just to show you, I'm just going to put in simple tags here, and let's see, hello from front page.php. All right, we should probably bring in the header and so on, but here you can see, right? So this is the front page.php. So as soon as you create the front page.php and you don't tell WordPress to look somewhere else, it will look at the front page.php. All right, so what we need to do here is I like to prep all these pages. So let's just take the index here, and I'm just going to copy. So I'm just going to copy all this. All right, and then let's go to first. Let's start from the top there, 404. Just all right. So this is 404 error page. All right, hello from 404.php, and save it. You can close that one. Then let's head over to the page. All right, so this is the page. Actually, it's a single page file. All right, so we're gonna keep the header and then the footer. All right, so hello from page.php. Save, close it down, and then in category, same there, category page. That category page, hello from category.php, and single, same there. So this is a single blog page. All right, so hello from single.php, and this is a search form, search page, hello from search PHP, and then search form. So here's where we gonna can put in our search form here, right? So search form, right? I don't need to put anything there really. Just form.php. All right, then there's the sidebar. Sidebar page. And then the sidebar.php. So we know, okay, right? So we did all that. So Now we don't need to do anything with the front page other than maybe just put in the actual comment here. So this is the front page. The front page and no form front page. All right, then let's close it down and let's close it down index there as well for now. All right, so the few files we're going to work with, we're not going to work with sidebar for now, and 404 for now either. So let's instead put in the loop. All right, the blog loop in our category single and page files. All right, so let's do that. Right, so the loop is a standard WordPress function that will display the content of your page or your blog post. All right, so let's do that. So let's actually go to page. All right, so all code needs to go between the get header and get footer function. So I'm just going to remove hello page from page.php, and what we can do here is open up another PHP function. All right, so this is very simple. You can customize this however you want. All right, but I'm just gonna put in what I like to have. So if have posts done a while have underscore posts and then the post. Now when you're working with your client, you most likely will change this. You can customize the loop however you want. All right, but I'm just gonna put in a comment here saying put in what you want to display here. You want to display here. All right, so I'm just gonna display the title and also the content. All right, so the functions are pretty descriptive. So the title is obviously the title of either the page title or the blog title. So now we're on the page, so we will display the page title and then whatever you have on the page. Okay, and then we need to end the while loop. All right, so end while, and then it's gonna put in an else statement there as well. Sorry, that's what I meant to do. All right, and then just a error message. So sorry, no posts matched your criteria. Or you can put in nothing found or whatever you want, right? And then let's close the whole if statement here. Let's open up a new PHP tag, and if close it, that's it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just going to copy this whole thing, maybe not the footer, right? So like this, save this stuff, and let's go into category, same there, save it, then single, and save it. All right, all right, so that's what we need to do. We don't need to do anything in the search files. All right, so that's that. All right, okay, so next what we need to do here is well, we're gonna fill in the search and the search form. All right, so let's first start with the search. All right, so we're just gonna I just would like to put in a simple WordPress function. For now, you can customize this as well later on. All right, so first a printf, right, and then let's try to display a message. All right, the standard message. So results 4, and then like this, and then shape. Okay, and then span tag. Then let's append it with the search query. So get underscore search underscore query, and then and that with the closing span tag, like this. And let's close it, and also let's do a PHP. So open it, and then let's close it down here. So after the span, let's display the search result. Results like this. All right, so that's what we need to do in our search.php. Now let's take a quick look at the search form.php. So same here. So this is the actual form for our search form. We actually don't need the header and the footer for this. So it's gonna delete these two here. Well, actually, you can just keep it on. It doesn't really matter. All right, so we're gonna put in a form. All right. So the action is where you want to display it. So we're gonna echo the home URL. All right. So let's open up our PHP tags. Echo home underscore URL, and in this URL is the backslash. That's the home URL. All right. And then also we're going to add a method for it as well. So let's put that in the beginning. Method. Oops. And the method is yes, a get method here, right? And then in our form, there's a simple input, right, with the type search. Then it's gonna name it. Let's name it S, and then a placeholder. Placeholder, type and press enter, and press enter. You can just put maybe search or whatever you want there, and then the value. It's going to be another PHP or WordPress function. So let's open up our PHP tags, and we're going to echo this one. So get underscore search underscore query, and let's close that one. All right, and also if we want a class, and I'm going to put in a class actually. All right, so class, maybe search field, like this. All right, so that's the search form. All right, okay, so that's that. So we can close all of these. Now in the front end, nothing's gonna happen really. Refresh. All right, because we haven't really done anything in the back end. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to create a custom function files for our backend functions, and I like to do this because it will keep things organized, and it will also be easier for other developers in the future to read my code. Right, so in the ink folder, let's create a couple of files. So I'm going to create 3 files here. First one is called functions dashboard. Functions dashboard.php. And next one is a functions posts. Functions posts.php. Then last one is a theme support. dashboard.php. All right. So in the functions dashboard.php, I want to put in any functions that has to do with the backend, especially with the customizer. So if you go into customize here, so anything I'll add here, I'm going to put in functions dashboard in this file here. All right. So what we're going to do here as well is we are going to copy this. All right, just paste it in there and just a little comment here so we know what this is. So functions for the dashboard and customizer. All right, so that's should be it. There, right? So also in this file, I would like to remove the WordPress version. If you go in here, you can see WordPress version. It's running. All right, content WordPress 5.2.4. All right, so I might not want to display all that for potential hackers. So let's change that. So the way to remove it is I'm just going to put in a comment. So remove the WordPress version number. So it's a function, and just gonna name it to name. Actually, let's remove name version. All right, and then get just return an empty string like this. All right, and close it, and then let's refresh here. Let's take a look. And of course, I forgot to actually run it. All right, so again, what you need to do is you need to add. Well, you have to tell WordPress to run this function, right? So it's an actual WordPress function here we need to run. It's called add filter. Add filter. Okay, and then another function called the generator, and then the name of this function right here. So copy it, paste it in, and let's close it. All right, and then now let's go back here to our front end, update, and it's still there. And let's see. Oh, of course, need to tell WordPress to look for these files. All right, so in our functions.php, let's bring this in. So let's just gonna copy all these here. All right, let's see. I need 3 of these, right? So in VS Code, if you press Control Shift and D, it will copy the line you're on and paste it on the line below, like this. All right. So we need 3 of those. All right. So instead of enqueue.php, we have functions dashboard.php. Then we have functions posts.php, and then we have the theme support.php. All right. So that's that. So now let's head back here and refresh. And as you can see, it's gone. All right. So the WordPress version is gone. Now you can see they're still here, but I'm not gonna bother with those right now. All right. So let's move on here. Let's close that one there, and let's go back to our functions, functions dashboard.php. Right, so I also want to add function for a custom navigation bar. All right, so I'm just gonna comment add custom navigation bar. All right, so this is a pre-made function. So function add underscore bar. All right, and then we need to register underscore nav underscore menus. All right, and then an array with the names of the navigation bars that you want. So I'm just gonna call one CIY nav bar. All right, and then add like this, and the name that will be displayed CIY nav bar, like this. All right, and then close it and like this. And now obviously we need to add this function, tell WordPress to run it. So another add action function, and again takes in two parameters. First to init, so to initialize this navbar, and then the name of the function, our function that we made. All right, so you can name it whatever you want there. So add navbar, save it. All right, now next we need to do is just head back here to our functions, no sorry, our header.php. So here where we're going to add the nav bar. All right, so I'm going to create another PHP tag, and then a WordPress function, bring it in menu, and then an array, and then first what we named it here, this name here, CIY nav bar. So just copy this, head back to the header.php, paste it in, and then link it up with the name nav bar. So this name is this name here. Okay, and that's that. So let's close that one, and then let's just close the PHP tag. And one more thing we're going to do is we're going to add a body class function. Because if you look at, if you go in and look in the inspector, you see here this page here is just a body tag. All right, so we can put a class here if you want. So let's put in PHP tag, all right, and body class, body class, like this, then close it. All right, so let's head back, refresh. Now you see you got the navigation bar as well there, because we brought it in. But now, as you can see there as well, you have in the body, you have a class home, blog, logged in, admin bar. So you have all these classes, and they come from this function here. All right, so it's pretty handy. Okay, all right, so that's that. Now, there's only a few things left to do before we're done. So I'd like to create just folders for our templates. So I'm going to create two folders. This might be a little bit overkill if you're not planning to use any templates. but I'm just gonna put in. I'm not gonna put any files in these because I'm not sure before I talk to the client what file or what templates I'm gonna use, right? But I'm just gonna use them. They will create the folders for them at least. All right. Okay. So first one is a page template or templates. All right, and then the other one is template parts, like this. All right, and here in the template parts folder, you can add custom post content, so on, and the page templates. If you have special templates for a page, for example, your contact us page or about us, for example. All right, so that's pretty much it. I know I went over some things pretty fast. I didn't explain a lot of things, but I'm pretty sure that most of you, if you're using this template, you already know most of these things already. So I might in the future make a separate video on these things and explain a little bit closer on what all these functions do and how to use them. All right, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And now when we're done, your folder structure should look a little bit something like this. Right, so yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.